One stood before the towering gates of the luxury mansion, her breath catching in her throat. The grandiose and opulence of the place were undeniable, making her feel small in comparison. She squared her shoulders, reminding herself why she was here. Tonight she had been called for an emergency. As a doctor, she was used. Stepping through the grand entrance, once were greeted by the imposing figure of Kim Namjoon, his cousin. Are you Doctor Wan? Namjoon asked, and Wan nodded. This way, Namjoon said coldly, leading her through the lavishly decorated corridors. Wan's heart pounded in her chest, each step echoing her growing apprehension. Her senior doctor had briefed her on the situation. She was here. As they approached a large ornate door, Wan took a deep breath, steeling herself for what lay ahead. Namjoon opened the door and she was ushered into the dimly lit room. There was thick with tension. There, lying on a luxurious bed, was Kim Taehyung. Even in his weakened state, his presence was commanding. His sharp features were softened by a sheen of sweet, as his piercing eyes held a dangerous glint. But as his gaze fell on Wan, something shifted. His expression changed. Taehyung's eyes never left her as she moved closer, her medical bag closed tightly in her hand. He was captivated, his gaze locked onto her with an intensity that made her heart race. You're a doctor? Taehyung's voice was deeper than she expected, filled with a mixture of pain and authority. Yes, she replied, her voice steady despite the whirlwind of emotions inside her. Taehyung lay on the bed, his injuries severe. His hand was broken and was lodged in his waist. The fight with his enemies had left him battered and bruised, his usually formidable presence diminished by the pain. One worked quickly, her hands steady as she assessed her injuries. You have some broken hand and a bullet in your waist. I will need to remove it immediately. Taehyung nodded, his gaze fixed on her. He was impressed by her professionalism and calm authority to her voice. Despite the pain, he couldn't help but admire her. As Wan prepared her, moved and glanced at Taehyung. This will hurt, she warned. But as she carefully extracted the blood, it was Wan who hissed, her empathy for his pain evident in her expression. Taehyung, however, did not make a sound. His eyes was remained locked on her, fascinated by the way she seemed to feel his pain. Are you okay? His deep voice broke the silence, his tone cold and laced with concern. Wan nodded quickly, regaining her composure. Yes, I'm fine. You, however, need a lot of rest. You have lost a significant amount of blood, and your injuries are severe. It's critical that you take it easy for the few next weeks. Taehyung's expression softened slightly, though his voice remained distant. I don't have the luxury of rest. You don't have a choice, she replied firmly, her eyes muted with his. I will be coming here every day to check on you and ensure you are healing properly. Your health is responsibility now. For a minute their eyes locked, a silent understanding passing between them. Just then the door opened and Namjoon entered the room. Namjoon, has your pain listened? Taehyung, pain. Namjoon ignored his brother's murmur and looked at you. Namjoon, Dr. Wan, thank you for coming so late. And thank you for agreeing to be Taehyung's personal doctor. You smiled softly and nodded at Namjoon. It's my duty, Mr. Namjoon. Namjoon, thank you, doctor. You say Taehyung is well. Because of this, he is often injured. Sometimes these injuries occur at night or at unexpected times, so we might need you to come on short notice. You nodded understandingly. I understand. I will sure to available whenever he needs me. Namjoon felt a wave of relief and happiness of his cousins who lay slightly on the bed. Namjoon, Taehyung, Dr. Wan is the most skilled doctor at KTH Hospital. Taehyung looked at coldly. Let's see if you live up to the hype. The next day, she arrived at Taehyung's residence promptly. She was determined to take a good care of him despite his intimidating reputation. As she entered his room, she found, Good morning, how are you feeling today? Fine, I guess. She approached his bed and began checking his injuries. As she carefully examined the bandages, Taehyung found himself inexplicably drawn to her. There was something. I have prepared a diet plan for you to follow. It will help you to recovery. Taehyung watched her intently, noticing the way her hair fell over her shoulder as she walked. He felt a strange pull towards her. As she leaned closer to inspect a wound on his arm, their faces drew near as he could looked up, and for a brief moment their eyes met. The closeness made her heart skip a bit, and she could feel things breathe on her skin. She quickly looked away, trying to maintain her professionalism. "This might hurt a little," she said softly as she gently cleaned the wound on his hand. Other fingers brushed again accidentally, sending a jolt through the both of them. Taehyung's gaze dropped to her lip. "Why did you become a doctor?" he asked, surprising himself with the questions. She looked at him, slightly taken back by the sudden interest. She hesitated for a moment before answering. "I wanted to help people to make difference." Taehyung nodded, a contemplative look in his eyes. "I will be back later to check you on," she said, standing up and gathering her things. He watched her go, feeling a strange emptiness. As she left the room, he couldn't understand the emotion building inside him. But he knew one thing. "Hello, Hyung," he calls Namjoon, who picks up the phone. "Namjoon, yes, Taehyung, what's up? Are you alright?" "Taehyung, yes, I'm fine. I wanted to ask you about Dr. Wine." "Namjoon, what happened? Did she do something? If so, we can change the doctor," he says calmly. "No, it's not that. I need all her details. I don't want someone coming to our house every day without knowing her background." "Namjoon, well, I have already checked everything, but if you want to know, I can send you the details." "Okay." Over the next few days, Swan visited Taehyung daily, her presence becoming a constant in his life. Despite his cold exterior, she remained professional, uncaring tender to his wounds and monitoring his recovery. But still, their conversations were brief and distant. When he checked her more personal details, he found out that she also had a. He couldn't understand why this information didn't sit well with him. He himself was unable to comprehend his feelings. "You need to eat more," she said one day, placing a tray of food beside his bed. "Your body needs fuel to heal." Taehyung glanced at the tray, then back at her. "I don't need a lecture." "Maybe not, but you do not listen to a doctor," Wan replied, her tone firm but kind. "I'm here to help you, whether you like it or not." Taehyung's eyes softened just a fraction. "Why do you care so much?" "Because it's my job," she said simply, "and because I can't stand seeing someone in pain when I know I can help." Taehyung was silent for a moment, his gaze once again fixed on her. Despite the distance he maintained, he couldn't deny the growing affection he felt towards her. She was different from anyone he had ever met, strong, compassionate, and after 1 week, one's presence became something Taehyung looked forward to. Even if he wouldn't admit it, she was a breath of fresh air in his dark world, a reminder that was still good amidst. And for one, each visit to Taehyung's room brought her closer to understanding the man behind the mask. He was complex and guarded, but she could see the hints of vulnerability beneath his soft exterior. It was a slow and delicate dance, but one she was willing to navigate if it meant helping him heal. One stood by Taehyung's bedside, her expression thoughtful. "You have recovering well," she said, her tone both pleased and professional. "You don't need me to come every day anymore. I will visit." Taehyung's eyes widened, a flicker of pain crossing his usually stoic face. The thought of Wan no longer visiting him daily was unsettling. He had grown used to her presence, her soothing voice and her gentle touch. The idea of losing that made him feel. "No," he said abruptly, his voice firm. "I still need you." Wan looked at him, puzzled. "Taehyung, you are healing. You will be fine with less frequent visits." But Taehyung's mind was already racing. He couldn't bear the thought of why not being around, so he made a decision. From the day on, he stopped taking pills to find a way to keep her close. 2 days later, one noticed that Taehyung's wound had stopped healing. She found her professional concern growing. Taehyung, it seems like your recovery has stalled. Have you been taking your... Taehyung looked at her with a calculated glint in his eyes. Maybe you should stay here to make sure I recover properly. I mean, you should take care of me full time. One hesitated, unsure of what to say. I can't just stay here, Taehyung. I have other patients to care for at the hospital. Just as Namjoon entered the room, his expression serious. We are prepared to pay you triple your current salary if you agree to become Taehyung's private doctor and stay here until he is fully recovered. Her eyes widened in surprise. But what about my... Namjoon, the hospital you work is privately owned by Taehyung. You should be helping the owner, especially in this time of need. One was taken aback by revelation. She had no idea that the hospital was owned by Taehyung. The realization that her old place... Namjoon added, "Your will be well taken care of. We will ensure that the best doctor assigned to them in your absence. Right now, Taehyung needs you more." She looked at him, who was watching her intently, his expression unreadable. She knew this was a decision she couldn't take lightly, but the thought of leaving him when he still needed her... Namjoon, and I know that your family doesn't live here, so stay in an apartment alone on rent, so you don't have to worry about leaving your family behind. After a moment of silence, one side nodded. Alright, I will stay and take care of him until he is fully recovered. His eyes flickered with something akin of relief, though the maintained his composed face. Thank you, he said quietly, his gaze never leaving hers. But I'm still paying for living here. I know I'm doctor, but when you pay me, please decode the cost of staying and meals, she requested. At her words, saying and Namjoon exchanged glances. Namjoon nodded. Alright, we will do as you wish. Come by this evening. I will have the room next to him cleaned and prepared for you. He nodded and packed her things and left the room. Namjoon, what is this all? Why did you tell me to say that to her? He asked, glaring at him as soon as you left the room. Because I want. I don't know, I just want to see her every day, he said, closing his eyes and smiling. Namjoon, you are not making any sense. Why are you acting like obsessed with her? Obsessed, maybe, but you don't understand, Namjoon. Her smile, the way she talks, her presence, it makes everything brighter. I can't go a day without seeing her, he confessed, his eyes shining. Namjoon, this isn't healthy. You can't base your happiness on someone else. You don't get it, do you? It's just about happiness. It's like she's become a part of me. When she's around, I feel alive. When she's not, everything feels dull and empty. Taehyung said, his voice trembling slightly. Namjoon, you are scaring me. This sounds like an obsession. Maybe it is, but I had rather to obsessed and feel something than live a life without her. Feeling nothing, he replied, his gaze. Namjoon stood speechless, unable to comprehend the depth of Taehyung's feeling. Taehyung, this isn't just about feelings. You have a dangerous, and she is a doctor. How can you two ever be together? Your worlds are completely different. I don't care about the different, Namjoon. I love her, and I will make sure she loves me back. I will make her fall in love with me no matter what it takes, Taehyung said, his eyes burning. Namjoon, you can't force someone to love you, Taehyung. She deserves a normal life, free from the dangers of your world. You need to let her go. Let her go. Never. I will protect her from all the dangers. I will keep her safe no matter what. She won't have to worry about anything. He insisted, his voice firm. Namjoon, you are being selfish. You are only thinking about your own desire. What about her? What if she doesn't want to be part of your life? I will make sure she wants to be part of it. I will show her the love and care she deserves. I will make her see that belong together, he declared. Namjoon, you are playing a dangerous game. This could end badly both for you. Taehyung, I am willing to take that risk. I can't live without her, Hyung. I will do whatever it takes to make her mine, he replied, his voice filled with a hint of desperation. Namjoon sighed, realizing that there was no convincing Taehyung's other. He could only hope that things would somehow work out for the best. One both, as the evening fell, I said goodbye to Gia. I'm leaving now. I told my neighbor that it's time for me to head to Kim Mansion. Gia responded with a curious tone. But Yoni, you are suddenly leaving. Are you going to your parents' house? I clarified, no Gia, I'm just moving out for a few days. Gia teased, so you're moving with your... She gazed at me with a playful glint in her eyes, her tone hinting at something more. I corrected her. He's not Gia. We went on a blind date set up by our moms and we are just pretending to be in a relationship like I told you before. Gia probed further, so that means you don't have feelings for him. I shook my head and she asked again, Dan, who do you have feelings for? Just then I remember someone, his captivating boxy smile, his charming yet cold, intense personality and his deep soothing voice when he speaks to me. Do I have feelings for him? But it's definitely true that he doesn't feel the same way about me because I'm just his doctor. Namjoon entered his room again to check him and inform him wine is coming. His face lighted up and Namjoon noted this, promoting him to say again, she is coming. Namjoon, but still you are not seeing the full picture. You might think you can protect her, but your world is too dangerous. Taehyung, I understand the risk, Young, but don't you see she has a light that can shine in the darkest place? She can bring hope and healing to my world and I can give her the love and protection she deserves. Namjoon, but what if she doesn't want that? What if she wants a simple, peaceful life? You can't force her into a world just because you love her. I am not forcing her, Namjoon. I will win her heart with patience and care. I will show her that she can have a safe and life with me despite the chaos around us. Namjoon, and if she rejects you, if she chooses a life without you, then I will respect her choice, but I will never stop loving her. I will always be there for her, whether she wants me or not. My love for her is unconditional for her being with me. Namjoon, you are talking about a fairy tale, Taehyung. Real life doesn't work that way. Your enemies could target her to get you. Have you thought about that? Taehyung, of course I have. That's why I'm sure she is protected at all times. I will build a fortress around her. If I have to, no one will dare harm her. Namjoon, you can't keep her in a cage no matter how glided it is. She needs freedom, Taehyung. Love isn't about possession. It's about trust and respect. Taehyung, I know I do trust her. I respect her more than anyone. But I also know what my love can give her. Life filled with passion and intensity. She won't just be a part of my life. It's be a center. Namjoon, you are deluding yourself. You are trying to fit her into your world without considering her dreams and aspirations. Have you talked to her about Taehyung? Not yet, but I will. I will listen to her, understand her, and support her in every way. I just need a chance to prove that I'll love and overcome. Namjoon, I hope for both your sake and your rights, Taehyung, but must be prepared for the possibility. Taehyung, I'm prepared, Hyung. I will fight for her love, no matter the cost, because without her, nothing else matters. Namjoon shook his head, still unable to fully grasp the depth of his obsessions, but realizing there was a little